So the reason for doing this channel is to have a place on the internet where I can put together my thoughts, my experiences, and the stories that I hear from other teachers and other people, other learners, and to share those stories. I'm a pre-service teacher, which means I'm currently completing my studies at university to become a teacher in Australia. I'm going to be teaching secondary school, English and geography are my two majors. I wanted this to be a place where I could share those experiences with other pre-service teachers and other people who are just starting their teaching journey. It's a time in a teacher's life where there's a lot of newness, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of challenge, and I think that I could help other teachers to go through those challenges and just to feel like there's a connected community on the internet. You know, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of teachers in Australia and in the world. I guess the reason for doing this channel for myself is that it puts me out of my comfort zone. It's helping me already in only the couple of videos that I've done to be able to speak my mind clearly, speak in front of a camera, communicate. You know, even after doing the first couple of videos and editing them, I'd be sitting there listening to myself and watching myself just kind of cringing a little bit along the way, but you know, I think that's part of the journey, and I think I'm learning, so that's the whole point. I'm trying to learn, put myself in those places where it's hard and you come through them, because that's what we're teaching. That's what we're hopefully going to teach, that how to learn, get comfortable with learning. So this is me having an attempt at moving through those places. Also, I want this to be a place where I can be a bit creative. You know, I've loved having a creative outlet over the last few years, making the skateboards and doing videos with my friends. I play music, and I've tried to paint, and I suck at drawing, but I'd like to try. And I think that this is another one of those things that lets me try and be creative, you know, learn a new skill, learn a whole different way of communicating, and you know, maybe through the process of one day get decent at it. And that's what I'm aiming for. It's mostly, I want this to be an accountability measure for me, to be like, okay, this is where I was, this is where I want to go to, and this is the process. And as part of that, I'm gonna look not that great sometimes, but that's okay. That's all right. I want to normalize that. I want to make it obvious and part of the narrative that to get from not knowing how to do something to knowing how to do something, it's like sometimes a messy little awkward process. And I think that's important to set those expectations for others and to help them realize that that's the reality. You know, you've seen the little squiggly line of creative process where it's like start and finish, and then it goes, you know, you've seen that one. Anyway, maybe I'll put it in the video. To overcome those barriers that are initially there, like for me, I've wanted to make videos for years, but I was too scared. I was too nervous. I worried about what people thought. I worried about what I thought. I just didn't do it, and I was scared, and that's okay. But this time when I was starting to realize I should do it, those same fears and same thoughts came up, and I was like, I don't know, but you just got to do it sometimes, you know? Jump over those. You're bigger than those. You can get through those. They're not always totally correct, you know? There's some of those fears they're good to listen to if there's like a lion there, or if there's the edge of a building or whatever it is, but sometimes it's like, you're just kind of scared because you're just a bit nervous. And that's okay, but got to learn, at least I think so, to be able to step over those. And this is the continuation of that. A couple of the ideas I've got at the moment are to make a podcast, a video podcast that interviews different educators and coaches and mentors and asks them their experience with teaching and what they understand about teaching. You know, maybe it's a jiu-jitsu coach and his his thoughts on teaching are that you need to find where the child is at or the student is at and then work with that and move forward. Maybe there's a business coach that's like, you have to push them hard and you have to keep going and that's how they learn. I'm not sure. That's what I'm going to explore. I'm going to find out where there's people trying to teach other people, and I'm going to learn those stories and their insights into teaching in the real world. Because that's what I want to bring back into the education industry. I want to bring back whatever teaching is in the real world, where teaching is in its actual natural form, and find out what I can bring back into the education sphere. What's a human way to teach? What's a human way to learn? What's the innateness of that scenario, of that experience, and how do we replicate that in our schools? That's what I want to learn. That's what I want to understand and then share. And then the other side of the podcast is to interview amazing learners, people who are really skilled at what they do, whether it's a musician, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a chef, whether it's whatever it is. What was their journey into getting really good at what they do? And where did the learning come into it? Where was it through external stuff? Was it internal? What combination of the two? These are the kind of things I want to explore, and I think it'll be really interesting. I'm really excited for myself to be able to go and hear those stories and understand those insights, because I know that it'll make me a better teacher. But then I'm also really excited to share those with you, to get those stories and to find the insights and to break it down into manageable rules or guidelines or strategies and then share them. I want that process to be a big part of this channel. I want that learning, understanding, and then sharing, and then come back, bring it back, like whatever you guys have, give it back to me, because we can, we've got a global community of teachers, we've got an Australian community of teachers, we've got a Queensland, there's a lot of communities of teachers, and sometimes, at least from what I've seen, they get a little bit siloed in their specific little sections, which is great because every community is different, every situation is different, but there is a lot of universal concepts and understanding that we can get from that. And so yeah, that's what this channel is about. I'm looking forward to doing it and to interacting with whoever is out there. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be exciting, it'll be challenging, and we're going to learn a lot along the way. And I'm excited. I think I already said that, but I am. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I have to say today. I don't really have a timeline. I'm pretty much just going to try and do one a week. I think that's probably a good level for me to sit down in front of a camera, talk about the next thing I'm trying to talk about, and edit it. We'll go for that. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.